I'm back with another great video for you all. Today I'm going to be giving you 7 tips to prepare for your move abroad. These are only going to be suggestions. It's not an exhaustive list and it's not in any particular order. So we are about 120 days out from our move, and I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about what we're doing to prepare for our move to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in Africa. These tips and suggestions that I'm going to present are not specific to Ethiopia and really could be generalized to any country that you're moving to abroad. So I think it will be helpful for many of you who are thinking about or actively moving to a different country. Before I get into the list, I just want to remind you all to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, I have recorded a few other videos, so go over to my channel, check those out, and like and comment on those as well. So without any further ado, let me get into my list. I have it written down here, so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my paper to remind myself of the list. So, number 1, if you are a homeowner in whatever country you're currently living in, now may be a good time to start thinking about what you're going to do with your home. For us, we've decided to sell. We think that is the best option for us because, you know, we'll be so far away. It will be hard to be a landlord with tenants when we're living abroad. I mean, I'm sure it's doable and people do it, but for us, it's not worth the hassle and the headache. So we are going to sell, and we will be using money from the sale of our house towards our living expenses and our life in Ethiopia. However, if you are thinking about renting, definitely look into what all that entails. I've never rented out a house before, so I can't give any tips or insight into that, but just recommend that you start looking into it if that's an option that you would entertain. In terms of selling the house, I would say, you know, reach out to a realtor if you can, see, you know, how the market is doing, you know, and kind of work towards that goal of getting a house sold by the timeline that you want to leave. So for us, it's 120 days later. And so if you're on the same timeline, start looking for a realtor. Also, the timing of this varies and will depend on your specific situation. For us, because we're looking to leave at the end of January, now is a good time to start selling our home. I know it's, you know, 4 months out, but, you know, we're going to start running into the holiday period and the winter time. The market may slow down during those months. So, you know, we just want to get ahead of it and be able to get top dollar for our home. And, you know, also give ourselves time to get the offer that we want and reject offers if necessary. So, number 2, passports. If you don't already have a passport or passports for your family, if you're moving with a family, go ahead and start getting those in order. I know for us, this is something that we've already started doing because there were delays in the United States due to the COVID pandemic. So there were passport delays, and it was taking, you know, upwards 5 to 6 months to get a passport. And there still are delays. I think the current estimate is about 16 weeks for processing. So that's about 4 months, but that doesn't include the mailing time. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I recall reading online, but you would want to look into that as well. And so now's the time. Make sure your passports are not going to be expiring within the next 6 to 7 months or so. You want to have a good amount of time on your passport before you make your move abroad. Number 3, you will want to mentally prepare, starting 120 days out or even before. Start looking into different neighborhoods you might be interested in the country you're going. We're going to Ethiopia, and we know we want to live in the capital city, Addis Ababa. We're looking at various neighborhoods within the capital that interest us, specifically looking maybe for expat communities, which will kind of help our boys transition from, life in the US to life in Ethiopia. Other ways you can help yourself get mentally prepared is maybe start looking into the food and the culture in the country you're going to. Being that my husband's from Ethiopia and I did Peace Corps in Ethiopia, we're pretty familiar with the culture, and the food. We cook Ethiopian food in our home. But this is something that's kind of big for us with helping our children to transition. And so that's another item under mentally prepare. If you have kids who will be moving with you, you're going to want to help them mentally prepare. So, that means talking to them about where you're going. Starting early is helpful because their little brains just need time to process what's going on. For us, we try to tell our children things that might excite them about Ethiopia. For example, you're going to have so many aunts and uncles and cousins and your grandmother, and, they already like Ethiopian food, so you can have Ethiopian food all of the time. Just little things that will get them excited. We're planning, basically this move is for us to retire early and to give our children a better quality of life. That's one thing that we are telling them is that mommy and daddy will be able to spend more time with you because we don't have to work at a job all day. We'll be able to make our own schedule and be more flexible. So that's something that, they're excited about. They always want us to play with them and hang out with them. And it's hard when you are working nonstop. You've got a 9-to-5, somebody's setting your schedule, you've got kids, you got a house to maintain, you're exhausted. That's something that we're trying to help them understand for their move and get them excited about, that, we'll be able to spend more family time together. So number 4, if you are moving to a country that does not speak the language that you currently speak where you live, it's a good idea maybe now, 120 days out, to start practicing. I know there are certain software programs that offer language learning. Rosetta Stone is one that comes to mind. I think there's another one that's called Babbel or something like that. So those are good options. Also, as we know, you can learn anything and pretty much everything from YouTube. So check out YouTube videos and search, how to speak, fill in the blank, whatever language that you're going to need to know where you're going. I'm sure you'll be able to find something, whether it be from a software program or a YouTube video, to help you kind of get familiar with the sounds of the language, maybe practicing greetings, maybe learning how to order food or ask for directions, those kind of things. Just, trying to integrate yourself slowly into the country's culture where you're going. The language and mentally prepared, those two things are something that don't just only have to happen at 120 days. It's something that you can continue on, keep doing until you come to moving day. So just giving a heads up that these are items you may want to start now. Number 5 is look into school options. Again, if you have kids where you're going, you may want to look into certain private school options or international schooling, or maybe the public system where you're going is really good. So that's something that you definitely want to check into, look into specific school names, maybe reach out to a couple expat groups online if you can find any, and ask some questions about the schools that people are using in the country you're going to. One thing to look out for, and maybe also to start mentally preparing for, is that international schools are typically very expensive wherever you're going to go. So plan that out, get that in your mind. It's probably too early to register, but that's also a question that you can ask the school if you find one that you really like at this point. Next on the list, number 6, start collecting and gathering items, personal products that you really like that may be hard to find in the country you're going to. So because I'm pretty familiar with Ethiopia and Addis, I know that a lot of the products and things that we will need are going to be there and we'll be able to find them. But for me, because I have natural hair, there are certain hair products or skin products that I already know my hair likes and that I'm going to want to keep using. So every time I purchase my routine items, I might get an extra one just to put aside so I can have that to pack away. So just start collecting items. My oldest son kind of deals with eczema, just very mild every once in a while. So, you know, buying the Eucerin eczema cream that we use, just having plenty, because in Ethiopia and Addis, we might be able to find those things, but it might take time to find them. Same for whatever country you're going to. They may have very similar products to what you're used to. They may not be exact, and it may take time to find them once you get there. So it's nice to have a good stock, a supply on hand for the first couple of months. And number 7, I would just recommend that if you haven't already, start communicating with your family and friends at home that you are going to be moving out of the country. That is it's big news, and it's sometimes hard for people to accept and process. So you want to make sure that you give enough time for your family and friends to hear that information, process it, and spend as much time with you as possible. You may want to even do it earlier than 120 days, but actually we did. But I think if you haven't done it at this point and you're 120 days out, I would say it's probably time. So those are the top 7 things that I have on my list for preparing for a move abroad at 120 days out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it very informative and enlightening. This is probably going to be like a little mini series that I'm going to do each month. So next time will be 90 days out, 60 days out, and 30 days out before your move. So there will be a lot more to come on this, a lot more details and tips and suggestions to help everyone prepare for your move abroad, and just to let you guys know what we're doing. I hope that you comment down below and let me know if you thought this was helpful. And if you're moving abroad, maybe there's some other things that you're doing around 120 days that I didn't cover in my video. I'd be happy to hear it. All right, guys, I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.